Could DC be pulling a reverse Avengers? Marvel may make it look easy, but if there's one thing we've learned for certain from the DCEU, it's that creating a gigantic, crowd-pleasing cinematic shared universe takes more effort than just slamming a few beloved characters together. Warner Brothers has been trying for years to ape the success of the MCU, and based on the underwhelming performance of Justice League, they're not exactly pulling it off. Justice League was supposed to be their Avengers, the star-studded tentpole that propped up the entire franchise by bringing together all their iconic heroes. Instead, it was met with a lukewarm response by both critics and fans, failing to make even half of what the first Avengers did on its opening weekend. So what's next for the struggling series? Well, if recent rumors are true, DC may be getting ready to throw out the competition's playbook and start blazing their own path, a path that will take them into some seriously sinister territory. Now, we're about to get into plot details about Justice League, so if you're still planning on seeing it, maybe get on that now, because here's your spoiler alert.
Oh, man.
Hey, so if you sat through to the end of Justice League, like all the way to the end of the credits, you were treated to a scene where Lex Luthor attempts to recruit Deathstroke into his newly forming Legion of Doom. And according to a report from Elle Fanboy, this is actually laying the groundwork for the DCEU moving forward. Firstly, by recentering it on more Earthbound threats. Since Batman v Superman, the franchise has been building towards a giant confrontation with the new god Darkseid, and the face-off with his underling Steppenwolf in Justice League was just supposed to be the warm-up act for that. But now that Justice League has so badly underperformed, the suits at Warner Brothers are realizing that maybe audiences don't really care about the DC Universe's cosmic threats. Maybe the villains they really care about are the ones right here on Earth, like Luthor and Deathstroke and, of course, the Joker, and maybe those are the bad guys the JLA should be battling if they ever get a shot at a sequel. Clearly, they were already kind of running with that line of thinking. Why else end with a Luthor cameo instead of a Darkseid one? But Warner Brothers' faith in the Legion of Doom may run even deeper than just setting them up as the major threat in the next Justice League. In fact, they may believe in them so much that they are actually going to supersede Justice League. According to the same report in Elle Fanboy, Warner Brothers is now trying to pull a reverse Avengers, using the next few films to slowly build a cinematic super team, but one full of supervillains, not superheroes. This would include Luthor and Deathstroke alongside Black Manta from the upcoming Aquaman and Black Adam from Shazam, as well as whatever other villains they want to dig out of the comics. And let's face it, they have a lot of cool options to work with, because if there's one place DC clearly outdoes the competition, it's in the villains department. I mean, you could pretty much make an amazing roster using just Batman villains by themselves. And oh yeah, they kind of already did that with Suicide Squad. Not that we're arguing that Suicide Squad was amazing, because we're not. Just that we really dug most of the characters they put on the team, and so did a lot of the viewing public, apparently. Good or bad, that movie did gangbusters at the box office. But nonetheless, with the success of Suicide Squad, it kind of makes sense that DC would want to put all their eggs in the bad guy basket. The only question we have is, will the Legion of Doom movie be as sour as the Oscar award-winning Suicide Squad? Well, we're still pretty far out from it, if it ever actually happens, so who knows? But there's one little detail from Justice League that gives us hope. The suit Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor wears in the Justice League post-credit scene is a near exact copy of the one Gene Hackman wore in the original 1978 movie. That would seem to signal that they're getting ready to take the Legion of Doom in a much more different direction, which makes sense, seeing as how the team originated in the campy 70s Super Friends show. Now, if they just announced a live-action Wonder Twins movie, we'd totally be on board for the DCEU. I would be down for that. But what do you folks think? Are you excited for the possibility of a Legion of Doom movie? And what other DC villains would you like to see jump on board? Let's discuss. And be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss one of our world-famous stories, theories, or breakdowns. If you're a YouTube viewer, mash that little bell and you'll get notified as soon as a new video pops. And Facebook viewers, give us a like, won't you? It is the holidays. Help spread the cheer.